So we're walking backwards and we're going to dance like no one can see us.
Okay.
No one's watching.
Turn off the lights. Close your eyes and turn off the lights.
So Pat and I were just talking about the wood goat ear, and you saw the email probably. And
Yes.
so the big things about the wood goat ear is that it's a yin wood goat ear. And so wood is youth, wood is young, wood is a simple element, and so it sees the wood as simple, it sees it as young, it sees it as somewhat vibrant, but not expanded vibrant so much. So that's the wood ear, right? It's a yin ear, and yin is feminine, and usually seen as a young girl. And so in this case, it's wood, yin wood, so it's definitely a young girl. And then we're talking about the goat, and the goat has this amazing character of like coming out of the womb running. You know, it's like immediately out of the womb, and it's jumping up on its back, and it's jumping up on the fence, and it's jumping up on the dog. You know,
It's young, yeah.
And it keeps its balance. I mean, these are the animals that like climb up sheer cliffs because, well, I live up there. You know, that's where I live. So, you know, they can run up and run down these sheer cliffs. That opens up some wonderful inferences into the way that the Asian family, the way the world at this point is looking at how does that influence us? What does that give us in opportunities or in abilities this year different from the wood horse, which was last year? So part of the big thing about the lamb, the sheep, the ram, you know, all that family is they're very family oriented, right? Everything's about making the decision for the group. No one makes the decision outside of the group. So that gives a simple opportunity from the world to turn around injustices by looking at it from the domestic point of view, right? Looking at it from the organization of family and the organization of gatherings like the public, the city, the town. You know, what's better for them, and then they can change rules because everybody's behind it. It's like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. Done, you know, there's no question. And that's part of the youth character. So we talk about the youth character not only in being spontaneous, but in being very simple and taking no regret. Right? The obvious one is you're walking your kid through Kmart or something and she stops and points to somebody and goes, "She's fat." But it's not malice, right?
Right.
There's no malice. The kid looks at the person and goes, "Why are you fat? Did you eat too much ice cream?"
What?
You know?
Oh.
But there's
children.
no, right? There's no animosity. There's no
Right.
guile. There's nothing in there but simplicity. This simple, "You're fat.
Observation.
Why are you fat?" You know? How did that happen? You know? And so we're going to see that a lot more, or we should be able to see that a lot more in our concerns. Like when we see things happening and someone comes to us, we have to have a meeting, blah, 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 blah. Everybody in the meeting is going to go, "That's right." Okay, and
Oh, wonderful.
because it's going to be simple, right? It has
Simple.
that character. It has that character. So both the simplicity character and the everybody's choosing together character form a really, really strong change field, right? It just offers this big ball of things can change for the good really easy from that point of view, right? If your goals are family-oriented and group-oriented and making better decisions for our society and all that kind of stuff, this is a great year for that, right? Because it's very domestic-oriented. Everybody's following along. I think we should do this. Everybody's hands goes up. No question, right? It's simple, right? And so we need to kind of look at it that way when we're moving into this section. And in order to get out of the old stuff, right, to get away from the dancing hooves of the wood horse and all of those kinds of things that have been plaguing us since snake year and dragon and rat, Well, it's the year, it's not you, it's the year. It's the way that overall influence is we need to get out of that, right? We need to kind of walk backwards 80 steps or do a dance that nobody's gonna see ever, you know? Because what that does is it takes you out of that perspective and kind of washes it clean and lets you put it back again fresh, right? And so that's a big, big key, especially this time of year. And of course, the reading, creative, right, happens every year about this time. So it's not just the wood goat year that this is, you know, great. This actually happens every year about this time, is we need to kind of take the brain out, brainwash it a little bit, stuff it back in again, and let the new perspective grow, right? So we're growing into this new perspective instead of taking our perspective and jamming it into the square of the new year, seeing if it'll fit. It's, no, just take it out, clean it up. Fits right in, right? It's going to fit right in. So that's kind of the big key about this time of year. Now, why we're doing this whole walking backwards and dancing and doing crazy things is a little bit more goat than just being creative this time of year and washing away the past and looking into the new. Is a little bit crazier because of the goat. I mean, the goat comes out, and so this is a great opportunity to really try something different. We talked to Lu Ming, or we went through the year presentation, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. And one of the big things that he was talking about was just do something silly. Don't worry about it. Just do the same thing you've always done in a silly way. And just don't worry about it. You know, just do it and let it go. Because it's not really a matter of trying to learn from that experience or having some purpose in that experience. It's allowing that energy to just drop, right? Literally, you just let it go. It's like, okay, it's cool. All right, yeah, and you're done. This is a great year for education. Pretty much every year is, but this year's education is about something you don't want to do, or something you don't have any interest in. You just take the class, right? So it's not, and mind you, this isn't like take an 8-week course or take a semester course or something like that. It could be a weekend thing, you know? It's just find something that somebody's offering that you really don't have a lot of interest in and take it. And just have fun, you know? Like in the email, make mistakes and laugh at it. Oh, yeah. You know, because those things are really good for you this time of year. Okay, so any questions about that? Let's move on into some moving exercises, because the moving exercise really is the fun stuff this time of year. Yang, as a matter of fact, they're reading for this current Chi node, which is like 8 days or 12 days is a Chi node, is insects wriggling. Because all the insects are starting to come out. Yes. If you look outside, it's warm, boom, there's a hovering cloud of something.
Yeah,
you know,
Flies.
and so it's
Flies.
right.
Flies.
It's that time of year, right? But that's what your Chi is right now. Your Chi is this little tiny wriggling insect, right? So we can't just go out and, you know, climb a mountain or lift weights or think we're going to go run 20 miles or something. It's about this big and it's wriggling. You break it off, it's it, right? It's gone, it's done, right? So you got to, okay, well, it's nice, you know, give it a nice place to start up and work its growth. But guess what we were talking about 2 months ago? Foundations, right? We were previously looking at the land, it's frozen, there's nothing you can do. So you're kind of planning way out here someplace. Well, now we're actually building that foundation. We've laid it out, we've done our feng shui, we've cut the ground back, and we're setting the foundation. And so foundation starts in the legs, especially for us. But it doesn't just start in the legs, it starts in the connection between the ground and the legs. So for the last couple of classes, when we've been doing this kind of rolling of the body exercises, we've been thinking about the legs and how the legs are pushing to make this happen, and how they're pushing to make this happen, right? Mm-hmm. We're thinking about it in the foundational purpose. That's the practice, right? So now we're going to take that foundation and we're going to make it solid. And so part of the class today is going to be talking about bend knees, right? During the wintertime, you could do Qigong like this. Perfect, no problem, right? We're getting into spring, right? We need to start bending the legs a little bit more. No, this is a little much. But the idea is we're going to slowly start working into just doing the moves down here and having the legs a solid foundation, right? Building the foundation. So that's the first thing we want to look at, is get in your standing position. Bent knees, back is straight. Open the lungs, rest the tip of the tongue and the roof of the mouth just behind the front teeth. And then right about that third breath, feel your stomach drop down and set on your hips. And when you do, you should feel it all the way down your legs to your heels and the middle of the feet. So you want to make sure you feel that sensation of everything, just let all the weight kind of drop down and anchor into the ground. And then we want to bend the knees a little bit more. Not much, just a little bit more. Sit down a little bit further and then just straighten up the back. A couple more breaths. Okay, so in the middle of winter, literally in the middle of winter, when we were doing the Qigong exercises, it kind of felt really, really heavy. It always did for me. It felt like, oh man, you know. And so standing up and not having the knees bent so much felt more comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. We just did this standing thing. Did anybody's knees bother them? Anybody feel anything? Yeah. What? That's the season, right? We're moving into the season, and we are recognizing that just that little thing between a couple months ago and now, feeling in your legs, you connected to that. That's the chi of the time. That's the way we sense the differences. Gosh, I'm feeling really sore today. Well, yeah, no wonder, you know. So we got to recognize these things, and that's what we're moving through this practice. We're gonna look at that more. Okay? So bend the knees, kind of get back to the same position you were in before. Now we're going to review the exercises we did before. So we kind of roll one side in and out, and you want to feel it coming from the hips and the waist, and the legs are solid, right? It's like I poured a foundation and it's set up. So my legs aren't going anywhere. All the energy is coming from my hips and my waist. And then other side or other hand. So far so good? Right? So it's really in here. It's like doing sit-ups or crunches. You want to feel it right in the obliques and the abdominis. Good. Okay. So now take whichever hand you're using and start by digging down and coming up and around. So it's almost like I'm picking something up and I'm lifting it up. Reach under and pick it up and lift it up. So now I can feel it in my legs more, because I'm actually using that principle of lifting and feeling my legs, lifting it up. Good? Good, good. All right. So then the next one that we were doing was in and out. It was either offering or it was giving, right? So pick the one you like. Switch sides. Good. Everybody's got that okay? All right. So same thing. We're going to dig down more and pick it up and put it. Pick it up. Good. Other side, same thing.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So how did that feel? That's a lot more work, right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
really gets the body moving a little bit, gets the blood flowing a little bit, but it's not a big exercise yet, right? We're not flying out here, so we're not snapping yang off at the top, right? We're using this little tiny building blocks to develop the movement and develop the Chi's connection, right? Our connection to the Chi.
What is the significance of doing it this way or that way?
So the principle of opportunity in the 5 elements is either it's being given, right, or it's asking. So this is asking for something or receiving, and this is giving or putting, right? So like giving away or actually just offering to give. Or this is in request. This is asking and receiving.
So does it matter if I'm doing that and asking instead of giving?
Good question. It comes up very often for people. And because this system is designed around health and life, this is not medical specifically, because that's not the way that the Chinese and the Asian families all looked at it. It was more of the rhythm of life. And the rhythm of life. In the rhythm of life, in the rhythm of life. Is this good for me? In the rhythm of life, right? There isn't a matter of you're gonna get fat, or this isn't healthy for you. They don't use those terms, right? It's the river of life, the essence of being. Oh, well, that's good. That fills your river, or that fits your goal, or that provides you with guidance, right? And so you really look at all of their philosophy, and as technical as it is, and as old as it is in written language, and they say it was already present when they started writing. So this has been done for a while before they actually started to log this stuff down, which was 3,500 years ago. It's your presence of moment, like reading the I Ching. Has anybody read any of the I Ching? That's some pretty thick stuff. Okay? Yeah, it's some pretty thick stuff. I have 3 different I Ching translations, and I like the Japanese koans easier than I like the I Ching. I can do koans a lot better than I can do the I Ching, but it's been years. It's been 30-something years, and I understand the I Ching better now, because it's really not a guide. It's not a roadmap. It's not an answer. It's not 42, right? It's not some answer. It's well, maybe you should look at it like this. If that's your question, then maybe you should change the way you're looking at it and try looking at it like this, because this offers these opportunities, right? And so there's a lot of that to be said in the way that we approach anything, in the way that we perform our daily chores. If somebody asks you for something and you go, what is that telling you? If somebody asks for something and you go, what is that telling you, right? Anybody studied body language? Right? There's a whole big industry nowadays trying to analyze all this. When you look through the I Ching, it's like, well, yeah, it's going to look like that if you think like this. Look like this. Try looking around this side and see what's over there. Right? And so this offers you internally, saying, do I need to? Is there something there? Is there something there? I'm open to receive it. I am open, right? I'm allowing myself to accept things that are coming. My wife's notorious for this, right? She doesn't wait to be asked. She leads people into the places that she wants them to go, but she's the one being abused. She's offering everything And instead of guiding them into learning how to do it for themselves, she goes, well, yeah, you really should learn how to do it. Do you want me to do that for you? Right?
Oh, yeah.
So we need to kind of look at things in the way we do things sometimes. And reflection, this is a great time of year for it. A lot of the spontaneity and a lot of this movement ideals gives you something. So when I'm asking you to try this and see how it feels, if this doesn't feel right and this feels better, there's a guide. I can't explain it for you, but that's a guide.
It's easier to do that. For some reason.
No, it's not. For you it is.
It's, yeah, I mean, it's really hard to do, to flip it over and go that way.
No, but that's more
I don't know what.
That's okay. But that's fun to think about and to kind of observe in ourselves how that's working. Does that answer your question, or was that way too much?
No.
Okay.
It's probably way too much, but you know, it's a good start. And the phrasing of it, like taking or
You're giving.
giving.
Yeah.
Keep taking.
In this case, it's because it's early in the year, this is asking, and this is giving. Where later, this is receiving, and this is putting. And so it changes, just like everything else in the season, it's changing its point of view. It's still the same thing. It's just the way that you phrase it, right? It's the way that you look at it changes as the season changes. Okay, so where were we? Somewhere in the midst of Du Chi. Remember we talked about how Du Chi works? Doesn't it look a little silly?
Oh, yeah. So it's perfect for a year to go.
So
right?
it's perfect for this time of year. We need to, right? We need to relinquish all the past information, pretty much. Just let it go.
Right.
And then as the new year comes on, we need to pick up new stuff, right? We're picking up new stuff. So the Du Chi exercise is really good this time of year. And this is our normal Du Chi, right? And we go middle, and we go high. But we're going to change it because we're going to do something silly. Right? So we're going to go like this. Good. You can keep going if you want.
Do you go across one way, across the other way, or does it matter two to one side?
Which
We're
one's silly?
just a bunch of goats.
Which one's silly?
I can't even do it.
That's great. That's great. It's excellent. Okay? All right. Okay, any other questions? Any other thoughts? That was a very good question, by the way. Excellent. Excellent purpose in why we're doing things. Most of the time I just teach people to just do those things. Just do this. It'll help. It really helps. And people look at you like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the breathing exercises, I don't know, we talked about this 2 weeks ago when I was here last. Has anybody noticed that their breathing has changed? Spontaneously deep breathing?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the other day, I was doing my stretching in bed, and I count the amount of breaths I take instead of going 1,000, 1,000, right? I count the amount of breaths I take because my breaths are a specific length, usually. All the winter time it was like 6, Now it's like 10, 11, 1,002. I mean, I was inhaling, I just kept going and going and going. I was like, okay, 11, because it's the change in the season. Energy's changing, the change is changing. All right? So when we do our relaxing exercise, if we're doing the standing Chi Gung, or we're doing it at our chair at work or something, let the breath get longer. It's the breath. It's just natural. So let the breath get longer. All right? So let's go ahead and do the standing Chi Gung. We're going to do 3 just standing quiet. when you're ready, 3 gates gong. Let's do three gates. So roll the feet out, arch the back, and open the arms and the chest. Closing on, palms out, inhale, rise up. Take a breath of the heart and lungs. Exhale, down to the end, and then run. Middle part to the end, and then take a breath here. A small flower or tree at the very top of the head, the mind waypoint. And when you're ready, palms out, inhale, rise up. The breath of the heart and lungs. Buttons will touch the bottom of the feet. And a couple more breaths. Just feel the energy moving all around you. And little leaf petals or needles on the tree or plant at the top of the head. It's kind of blowing in the breeze, very lightly, very gently. Palms out, inhale, rise up. Breath. Heart and lungs. And back to the end, main lung. And the belly, spring point to bottom of the feet. A couple more breaths. Feel the energy all around you. Any last thoughts or questions? Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the day.